Hello, welcome to Inside the Birds Postgame Live, presented by HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Well, it was a Merry Christmas for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think for their fans. They finally get a win, breaking a 3-game losing streak by beating the Giants 33-25 at the Link. Keely Ringo's interception on a Hail Mary seals the deal. It's a jolly holiday for the Birds, but maybe too close for comfort for some. I'm Geoff Mosher alongside my co-host Adam Caplan, and joining us as always is former Eagles tight end Clay Harbor. We want to wish everybody watching a Merry Christmas. Hope it's been a great one. Whatever you celebrate, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, merry that as well. And the Eagles get a win and go forward here. And I feel like we're about to talk about an Eagles win the same way we've talked about many of their wins this year. Yes, there were some turnovers. Yes, there was some sloppiness. Yes, they won a close game. But Adam, I'll start with you on this. And I would assume you'd back me up on this. Despite the one score outcome here in the last minute dramatics, I never really felt like the Giants were going to win this game. So if you were just measuring this on, I just need the Eagles to win the game and I don't care about style points, I think you felt pretty good from kickoff to the way the game ended.
Yeah, they had 7 scoring drives. They dominated offensively. They had some lulls. I mean, fire falls down. What can you do? Okay, you have that. That's not. I mean, it's you can blame Goddard, but he slipped. That's caused the interception for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Zacchaeus gets pushed by Isaiah Simmons in the back, and he falls into Boston Scott, causes a fumble. Okay, they'll make sure that doesn't happen again. We'll get into some of the problems, but they dominated this game offensively. They had 7 scoring drives, 3 touchdowns, 4 field goals. Okay, you like to take at least half of those field goals, make them touchdowns if you want to feel better. But they scored 33 points. They moved the ball. Boy, the first quarter and a half, their offense was phenomenal. Good mixture of run and pass. Lots to feel good about as we get through the show. Looking at my notebook here, I felt that the rhythm was really good. Hurts was in a rhythm. Protection was good. We know Jurgens just came back from his injury. Opeta had to move to the other side. We'll get into that a little bit. But all in all, 33 points is something that you won't sneeze at. That's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. So Clay, along those lines, as someone who played the game, but I don't really want to ask you this from a player standpoint. I want to ask you as someone who played the game and now analyzes it more objectively. The Eagles, as Adam just mentioned, 7 scoring drives, 33 points, clearly a lot more functional than we've seen. But how do you reconcile that over the fact that it was the New York Giants, who just aren't very good of a football team?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's the thing, Geoff, is big game. You got the win, but this is a team who had the largest 149-point scoring differential coming into the game. That was the largest in the entire NFL. So some people could say they were even worse than the record indicated, right? So for me, why is this team even close to you? And if you look at the numbers to this game, the Eagles 28 first downs, the Giants 14. Okay, third down efficiency, Eagles 8 for 15, the Giants 4 of 15. Total yards, the Eagles absolutely obliterated the Giants 292 to 465. Yeah. Right? So this game needs to be a game that you close this team out, in my opinion. Objectively watching it, the Eagles are the better team. You look at the statistics, the numbers, third down, first downs, total yardage, but it comes down to turnovers. And obviously, like you guys said, you can't blame the one Dallas Goedert slipped on Jalen Hurts, but you got to cut out the turnovers. And this is something that's been plaguing them all year round, all year long. I don't know, what is that, 17 turnovers for Jalen Hurts this season? Yeah. You got to be better than that. I know a lot of them aren't his fault, but the number one stat after everything I read with the NFL, when you're watching it, it's turnovers. So you got to stop turning over the football.
100%. I know that, for example, Jason Vaught went into this game in our Inside the Birds pregame live show. He said, look, what I'm looking for from this game is what did the Eagles do on third down? This is a big area where they've struggled, and we'll get into their offense and how they made the chains move. But 8 of 15, you're satisfied with. But I tend to agree with you and Clay in that if you think about last year's team, as dominant as it was, the adage for them all year long was if they make it to they should make it to the Super Bowl. They're talented enough, but if they don't win, we might look back on special teams and say, man, that really cost them. And guess what? It cost them in the Super Bowl. This Eagles team, if you believe they can get their act together and really challenge the Niners or the Cowboys or whoever they have to play in whatever playoff game there is, Adam, I think we can definitively say if they turn the ball, they had 0 turnovers in their loss to the Niners. So if they turn the ball over in the playoffs,
Yeah.
they will not beat any of these teams, and maybe might get picked off if they're the 2 in a 2-7 match. I mean, they invent new ways to turn the ball over. You saw that today on the kickoff return.
Yeah, I don't blame Goddard. You could just throw that interception out. I mean, that's just he slipped. I mean, that's
no, it's really the kickoff return.
Yeah. Oh, the kid, like the Zacchaeus is. Look, he got pushed in the back, so he's got to make sure he's turned correctly. I mean, that's something that they'll clean up in tape. But give Covey's electric return got this thing started. That to me,
Yes.
and they scored easily because he 51-yard return, which best return of his career. It wasn't just yardage; it was the way that he did it, and it wasn't not all of it was blocked well. So that was pretty awesome. By the way, he played slot receiver tonight. He had a catch, which I thought was interesting. We have not seen that because they've not gotten anything out of their slot role, literally nothing. It's been an absolute disaster. But look, the pass target group was very good. We'll get to defense in a couple minutes here. Goddard very, very effective running after the catch. The hide screens, they had a couple of them. They actually hit a couple screens tonight, which is like breaking news. They're so bad at it.
Things are going well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then now I want to point this out because we're giving them some platitudes. Got a couple lucky plays. The either the bad snap or the drop by, whatever you want to call it, a bad snap by Kelsey or whatever. Hurts can't get it, and he makes a miracle play and gets the Calcaterra. Like that.
Yeah, well.
Right. So they had that. They had a couple plays tonight where you'll say, okay, they got away with it. But hey, by the way, other breaking news, Boston Scott did not, his streak has been broken.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. He didn't ever carry, though, the random spin the wheel carry. Anyway.
Yeah, well, he was a decoy. That's the story I'm going to go with. They knew he was going to do something, so they just turned him into a decoy. To your point, Adam, the Jalen Hurts improv, pick up the snap, run around, throw it to Calcaterra, which seems like very fortunate for the Eagles to be able to. That actually happened, I think, 1 or 2 plays after. They were very fortunate not to have Pinnock from the Giants take an interception and take it back for 6 because he had his hands on the ball. He just couldn't come up with the interception. So yeah, the ball bounces your way sometimes. Certainly in the last few games, it had not bounced their way, so they were due. All right, a lot to get into. Offense, defense, quick look ahead here on Inside the Birds Postgame Live. Want to remind everybody about our friends, our sponsors, HelloFresh, because no one I know of has time to plan and make meals anymore. We're all on the run, doing this, that, and the other. That's why we love HelloFresh. They deliver farm fresh food with pre-proportioned ingredients and seasonal recipes right to our doorstep. No more wasting time at the grocery store because America's #1 meal kit helps make home cooking easy, efficient, and affordable. With HelloFresh, the shopping's already done. The perfect amount of ingredients arrive with step-by-step recipe cards. It just doesn't get more efficient than that. And HelloFresh saves you time and money. Who doesn't want to save both on those, right? They're 25% less expensive than takeout, so you get a home-cooked meal without digging deep into your wallet. And they have a great taste and selection. Foods that range from meat and vegetarian meals, seafood meals. They've got all sorts of variety. So go to HelloFresh.com/50Eagles and use the promo code 50Eagles for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/50Eagles. Use that code 50Eagles, 50Eagles, all one word, for 50% off plus free shipping. Act now for America's #1 meal kit. Adam, I think you really hit the sort of the nail on the head when looking at the Eagles offense. I know that right now everybody's sort of in under the microscope mode with the Eagles and everything they do, and the turnovers hurt, but 33 points and 7 scoring drives, as you summed it up. If you were looking for anything from this Eagles offense, it was the ability to move the ball well against a bad Giants defense. They ran the ball well for the first time in a while. We'll talk about that. Good blocking there, good pass protection. And I also thought, again, the offense, they were trying to do it last week. I felt like Jalen Hurts did a better job with his decision-making, getting rid of the ball, finding his targets quick, and sort of getting that rhythm established early.
Yeah, the scheme is good. I like the play selection. By the way, they ran the heck out of it. They ran the ball really well. Swift, ideally, is not who you want to close the game, but he did a great job. You got to be careful jumping over someone's back, the defender. Got to be careful with that, but he was dynamic. He had a great game. It's really, look, again, I know people are focusing on the gaffes. They had some. The penalties are embarrassing. Like the See, this is when we talk about guys, and our job here is not to point out the obvious, the numbers. Everybody sees the numbers. It's underneath the numbers. The errors that they're having, they were not having last year. The penalty numbers are way up because we've seen this in the past in Sirianni's first 2 years, where okay, they might have a couple games where they have bad penalty numbers, but they clean it up. We continue to see either the turnovers or the penalty numbers. I don't. It's impossible to know why it's happening. Sure, you can look at the way they're coached, but it's just happening, and that's got to get cleaned up, Jeff. As you said earlier, you keep doing these things. You're playing a better schedule in the playoffs. Obviously, you're getting rid of the junk teams, the Commanders, the Giants, and the other bad teams on your schedule. When you get to the playoffs, I don't care where you play. It doesn't matter where you play. It's who you play and how you play. And if you play like this with all these errors, these 33 points are going to be about 17, and you're going to lose those games in the playoffs.
Sure, sure. Clay, what stood out to you? It looked like early on, Wink Martindale, we know the Giants defensive coordinator, likes to bring pressure. And Greg Cosell did a really good job of pointing out that this year, more so than others, Wink is starting to do a little bit more back end movement, disguise, deception. It looked like he was trying to execute that on the touchdown to Devontae Smith. I thought I saw some safeties moving there at the last minute. But in general, with Wink and the pressure he sends, you're going to get some one-on-one opportunities. And that was a really good strike right there to get the offense in a nice rhythm when he hit Devontae Smith for the touchdown.
Yeah, I thought the Eagles offense, played well. I thought, since week 4, they're 25th in the league in yards per carry. So I like the fact that they got back running the football and averaging 5 yards a clip. That was good. You busted out some bigger runs. Obviously, Swift had a 17, Gainwell had a 22, Jalen Hurts had a 16. Some nice runs. You got to see the offensive line moving. You saw a little bit more pin and pull instead of just straight zone. I thought you saw a lot more offensive linemen moving the ball. I thought you saw a lot more 12 personnel today too. I don't got the numbers on that, but just from eyeballing it, I thought you saw 2 tight ends. And I thought you honestly saw a little bit of Grant Calcaterra and Jack Stoll in there in blocking situations. I pointed out on Twitter, Goddard, I don't know if his forearm's healthy or not, but wasn't doing a great job of blocking. Next thing you know, you got Stoll and Calcaterra in there as well. So I liked what I saw, changing up some things in the scheme. You're pulling guards, you're pulling tight ends. You had Kelsey pulling a couple times, and that really opened up some creases. And a lot of it was Swift making a guy miss in the hole with the crossover. They're pointing out on the broadcast, or Gainwell with a nice shake to get, a couple extra yards. But I think when we go back and watch the tape, we're going to see that we had some more pulls, we had some more power downhill runs instead of just the zone read all the time. He did run some zone read, some of the run pass option stuff, the zone read, but I thought we saw more of that power running scheme, getting some tackles and guards on the move, pulling. And that really is something, as if you're a physical football team, we've been asking for. You got these mammoth guys up front that can move. Let's use them. Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson. Get your tackles moving. If you got tackles that can move and are that big, let's use them a little bit. And I thought they did a good job of that today. And obviously, it's good to see the 3 horsemen. It's supposed to be 4 horsemen, but we have 3 really moving the ball in the receiving game. AJ looked great. Devontae looked great. It was good to see Dallas get the ball to the tight end. It was good to see Dallas getting some plays in there. So that was my overall takeaway. Love the change they kind of did in the run game, pulling more guards, pulling the tackles, doing more of that, and then obviously getting the ball to your playmakers. Did see Jalen leave the pocket a couple of times again when it didn't seem like he needed to, maybe a little bit early, but have to go back to the all 22 on that one.
Well, I do want to bring one particular play into attention. I thought it was an improvement from Jalen as opposed to some weeks. It was a 3rd and 20 in the 4th quarter where he stepped up into the pocket, ran up into the pocket, really bought a lot of time, and then fired the ball to AJ Brown on the right side to get that conversion on a 3rd and 20. Was good. And I thought the upside to the play, I thought, was the fact that he didn't run out of the pocket outside the tackles, and he's been keeping his eyes down lately. This time he climbed, bought himself the time because the pressure was sort of coming around him. And by keeping his eyes upfield, he was able to see AJ Brown. And that's kind of a thing we've been talking about with Jim in the last few weeks, is that he hadn't been doing that. I'm going to cut off the response from people right off the bat, because people are going to say this is what happens when the Eagles run the ball. They win. They're going to say this is, thank God you went and run the ball. But I would just want everybody to know right now, at halftime, the Eagles were up 20-3, and they did it mostly with Jalen Hurts passing. He was 11 of 19, 157 yards, 102.3 passer rating. Had thrown a 36-yard touchdown. He had pushed in for the 1 yard touchdown. They had only ran 15 times for 60 yards, which is a good average, 4.1 per carry. But it was in the second half where they're leading, that they're trying to, really rely on the run, mostly late third and fourth quarter, that they wound up running the ball. So 15,
and it's not running the ball, Jeff. It's not, okay, you run the ball 25 times, you're going to win. No, you can run the ball 25 times and have 50 yards. Have two. It's running the ball well. And they're what I see from them is they're trying new things, and those new things are working. Instead of just doing the zone reads and just that zone scheme inside outside. All right, you got a lot more pulls in now, a lot more power downhill running scheme. So I like that.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it was good. In fact, I remember saying a couple weeks ago, I said, it feels like the Eagles just need to spice it up in the run game. They just need to start doing. You can't always rely on just talent. Teams are scheming against that. You've got to start switching it up and showing them something that they haven't seen, whether it was the passing game or in the run game. So that was good to see. They have a very athletic offensive line. So it only makes sense to get some of those guys on the move. All right, we will transition, talk about the Eagles defense in a second. Now we're going to talk about the beauty of MyBookie. It's not just about watching games, but it's about turning every second into a potential win. With MyBookie, you can stream the games and live bet them and turn any game day into a payday. Are you ready to up your game? I know Clay Harbor is. All right, sign up today and make your first deposit with the promo code The Birds for a sweet deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code The Birds, all one word, to claim your bonus. It's not just a promo code, people. It is your secret weapon to get the extra edge on the house. And the best part is, you don't need to be a sports whiz to win at MyBookie. You can cash in on everything from politics to your favorite shows and then some. So bet anything, anytime, and anywhere, only with MyBookie. We're going to pause real quick, come back in a second. Just want to take a word to hear from our friends at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
All right, welcome back to Inside the Birds Postgame Live. Geoff Mosher and Adam Caplan, along with Clay Harbor, former Eagles tight end, on this Merry Christmas for the Philadelphia Eagles as they get a win. You just heard from our sponsors at Ocean Casino Resort. It is the exclusive Jersey Shore resort of Inside the Birds. All right, I want a show of hands from you two. Honest admission, when you saw and heard that Nick Morrow was not going to be able to push through the injury, not going to be able to start, and it was going to be Shaq Leonard and Ben Van Sumeren, who started to panic. Yeah. Come on.
Well, I mean, look, I was, we're not fans here. Our job is to be objective, but the bottom line was, I was concerned, and I was like, okay, I mean, we'll see how this looks. And Barkley had some good runs. They didn't get crushed. There were some, you could see from even the TV copy, you could see some plays where Van Sumeren went the wrong way. This was the knock on him and why he wasn't drafted. And as either Joe Davis, the play-by-play guy, or Moose Johnston talked about, he was a former, I think, fullback, if I'm not mistaken, at one point in his football playing career.
I think so. He was a convert of some sort.
Yeah. So he's still new to the position, but he's a tremendous athlete. I mean, that we one team told us the only reason why they didn't claim him off waivers was they didn't want him under 53. They would have claimed him. Like if they could have got him in there just to play special teams, because he's so fast on a straight line, but he's just not instinctive enough, and you get concerned because think about it this way. If one of those two guys got hurt, who's in? Your guy from Penn State, Brandon Smith, was next up. Ooh.
Yeah, that was dangerous. You did see a lot of three safeties, again, big nickel, right, as they're trying to alleviate their issues at linebacker. And hey, look, Clay, I mean, Saquon Barkley's longest run was 12 yards.
Yeah.
You knew the Giants had to lean on the run game with their quarterback situation, and they were able to run for 106 yards. But again, when your best run is 12 yards and you average 4.1, this sort of feels like how we were talking about the Eagles' run game over the last 3 weeks. Yeah, it showed up. it was representative, but it didn't win them any games. It didn't take over at any point, and that's what you felt about the Giants' run game. It was functional, but it could not just carry the offense on its back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you said it. I think they could have done some things better with this linebacking crew. I mean, Shaq Leonard, even I know we're talking about, everybody, but he had a couple of fits where I'm just scratching my head. I know they showed a couple on the broadcast on the touchdown. I go, where's he going? Like you said, like, where are you going, man? Like the fit is right there. You got to plug that hole. Like there was a couple times with these linebackers, I'm watching the fits, and obviously it's from the TV film. Like, why is he plugging that hole? Like, what are you doing? I'm a tight end, and I know you're not supposed to do that. So, obviously, experience. These guys are all new and fresh and haven't played much. But if you're playing against the San Francisco 49ers, you're gonna have to have better run fits than that. You're gonna have to do a better job. And then my other question is, why aren't we getting any sacks? I know they didn't throw the ball that much. What 32 total pass attempts, but Tommy DeVito, sorry. He's been sacked over 5 times in 4 of the last 5 games. This guy's been getting sacked. I think got sacked 7 times last game. Like this guy's just been getting sacked like crazy, holding onto the ball. And obviously they went to Tyrod. But like, let's get some pressure and get some sacks on this guy. And I thought our defensive line was supposed to take over the game. And I know you had like Hassan get flagged for the low hit, and he was doing a good job of putting on some pressure. They failed to block him a couple times, which was just, I don't know. It just looked like the tight ends on the Giants in that 4th and 1 just got mixed up, and then that one sack he did get, or the pressure, they just forgot to block him. But thought the defense did enough. Obviously, Reed got beat deep on that play, and watching that tape, was it cover 4, cover 2? Either way, you can't get beat deep there. So I don't know what he was doing. I don't think it was a great matchup for him, but the way he played that, it was like he had help deep. So I don't know. I would like to get an answer from Patricia Desai on exactly what was going on there. I'm not really sure, but that's definitely something I would like to look into. But they did enough to win. But come playoff time, I'm not sure that would be enough defensively to make it to the NFC Championship game.
Oh, I mean, I think most people would look at that and say, if you don't clean up your mistakes, you just brought up that touchdown to Darius Slayton, right, against what looked like a 2-shell cover. It looked like a defense that was designed to limit an explosive play. We may not know exactly what the call was, but nobody blitzed on that play. I mean, it really should have been contained. That, and then let's be honest with you, this game would have been a lot different if that wide open tight end that Tyrod Taylor underthrows there on the second drive for the Giants. I mean, that's a touchdown. And if they score a touchdown there,
Bellinger, I think, right?
Yeah, Bellinger. It was Bellinger, right? If they score a touchdown there, holy cow, this is kind of a ball game. I don't know what we're talking about right now if they score a touchdown there. I mean, there was plenty of time for the Eagles to do something, but just from a morale standpoint, Adam, if they give up the touchdown there, that's rough.
I think Blankenship was looking on the big play to Slayton for the touchdown. I think he was looking in the backfield. Replaying it a couple times. I just was going through it. I'm like, wait, why was he peeking in? And then they said it. So we'll, as you said, Clay said, we'll find out. But yeah, see, they're playing coverage base. They're playing coverage based defense. They're not even doing that. Like, I know he's got to run the schematics of the Fangio defense, but he's playing his coverages because Patricia historically is not a big blitzer. It's a drop a lot of guys, muddy looks, make the quarterback hold on to it, and then your guys get in there. Reddick, by the way, was credited with 4 quarterback hits. He had a good game. Obviously, you went low. That was a textbook call. That's got to be called. That's the correct call. But that you play coverage base, you don't get pressure in the playoffs, no matter who you play, because the type of teams that will be in the playoffs that they could host, when you really look at it, it's not going to be easy. The NFC's, yes, it's not as good as the AFC, but if they have to host the Rams could score. And
I think it is right now. I think it honestly is. Looking at the Chiefs, as we're talking about, looking at the Jaguars. I mean, I don't know about we're going to see what the Ravens are about tonight when they play against the 49ers. But honestly, I think the NFC, in my opinion, is actually the tougher conference. You got the 49ers. It's getting
better, yes. Of late, it sure looks a lot better.
Rams,
Yeah, no doubt about it. I do wonder, Clay, and I imagine you and Greg Cosell will do a very good job of breaking this down on Inside the Tape later this week. But I was thinking the same thing about the lack of pressure. But I do notice that if you look at how the Giants played the game, especially with Tommy DeVito in, it seemed like they
Yeah.
keep an awful lot of
They
guys
were-
at the block, and
they
then
were hiding them.
chip and release, and then they were just
Yeah.
like a quick 2-yard flare. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if there were a whole lot of opportunities where either quarterback held onto the ball and put themselves in harm's way. So the fact that Reddick even got 4 quarterback hits just showed
Yeah.
you he had a pretty good game. But I also don't want to be presumptuous. I think this is something we have to watch the All-22 and find out, how is it that every other team, except for the Packers somehow, every other team sacked the crap out of Tommy DeVito, but the Eagles couldn't really get to him. And I do think that when Tyrod Taylor came into the game, I said to myself, "Oh, the Giants are playing to win," which I respect. You know, I mean, they have
Yeah.
no business wanting to win that game from a draft pick standpoint, but they have played hard all year long. And I kind of thought that they would give the Eagles a little bit of fits with Taylor because he's a way better quarterback than Tommy DeVito. And at that point, the game was starting to get a little bit closer. And sure enough, it wound up being a little bit of a seesaw affair there. But man, that was a really, like Adam said, from an objective standpoint, if you just like football, that was just like listening to the fingernails against a chalkboard, watching the Giants try to play offense. I mean, that was like, you know,
It's painful.
sandbox right there type of offense. What was that?
It was bad.
Yeah, it was not very good.
No, you feel bad for the Giants too, man. I mean, Brian Dable was my tight end coach when I was in New England, right?
Oh.
And he was a very, very smart guy. Love Dable. I talked to him this offseason, you know, still keep in touch, and awesome coach. Learn more from him at the tight end position than I did in 7 years in other places. Like, the guy is just a wizard. He puts you in really good spots to help you do what you do well. So he's going to hide you in the plays that you can't do, and he's going to put you in a position to be successful. So obviously, looking at DeVito, he wasn't in a lot of positions to get hit, to take the sacks, and Dable's good at that. He's a guy that the players love. He is one of those disciplinarian guys who, if you mess up, he's going to let you know you messed up, and you're going to come to the sideline and know you're about to get talked to. But he's one of those guys you just respect and you play for, and he just does a really good job of putting you in a position to do what you do well. So, you know, I'm not surprised that this game was as close as it was, just because Dable is a guy with less talent that really can do some things to keep his team in the game.
Well, there's one more reason you shouldn't be surprised that this game was as close as it was. And I'm going to get to that reason in 1 second. First, I want to remind everyone that Santa Baby, the season for a fresh cut, is finally here literally today, right? With the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. The leaders in below the waist grooming have just launched their 5th generation lawnmower to help you avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Take care of your special snowflake and watch your South Pole shine like never before. Get the best stocking stuffer of all by going to manscaped.com and using the promo code ITB20 for 20% off and free shipping. Yes, that promo code still works even past Christmas. So Mrs. Claus will thank you, and everyone knows the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is the crown jewel of the holidays. Its skin-safe technology is a lifesaver and known for reducing nicks and cuts on the Santa sack. So don't forget that Manscaped's Beard Hedger Pro Kit and Handyman Electric Face Shaver will cover all of your facial hair needs. Just get rid of those icicles that you got around your nose and your ears with the Weed Whacker 2.0 nose and ear hair trimmer, and take care of your chestnuts with a Manscaped Boxers 2.0. You can do your nails with the Shears 3.0 nail grooming kit. So get 20% off and free shipping using the code ITB20, all one word, ITB20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with the promo code ITB20. Say ho, ho, ho to a well-groomed mistletoe with Manscaped. I'm going to miss that read, fellas. Obviously, it's got to change as we go forward. I can't wait to see what they come up with next. Clay, you should not be surprised that this one was a little bit tighter, not only because Brian Dable is an excellent well, he's a good coach. He's proving himself to be a good coach in this league. Last year did an excellent job. But the Eagles now, with 15 games under their belt, have only played 2 games this year, won 2 games this year that were by more than one possession.
Yeah.
So depending on how you guys view this, the Eagles are either skating on ice a whole lot or just barely overcoming some mistakes, like you could argue in this game against the Giants, or Adam, they're a good team that knows in general how to finish games. And yes, they went through a rut. We've seen other teams go through a rut, but I do wonder if the sign on the wall is more that they're a team that can outlast you, or that they're a team that has to cover up some deficiencies, each and every week.
Well, here's the one thing: is the offensive personnel is basically the same, other than Miles Sanders, and quite frankly, based on the way he's played with Carolina, I don't know how much they miss him. But the bottom line is here with this team, the big three are back. Yes, there's an offensive line change. Sayamalo's gone. Jurgens, who's actually played pretty well when he's been healthy, he just came back for this game. It's there offensively. It's absolutely right there for the taking. There's no question. When Hurts plays well, he played pretty well tonight. I mean, yeah, he wasn't perfect, but he played pretty well. He was in a rhythm. I like how aggressive they were. The run game was excellent, and so you got to feel pretty good about that. Yes, the Giants are a lesser team, but you know what? They've got a good front. They neutralized Dexter Lawrence. That surprised me. I thought they did a good job against him, because Jeff texted me, goes, "Is he playing?" I'm like, "I don't think he's hurt." Well, he came in with a hamstring.
I kept seeing Riley, the guy whose last name is Riley.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is he in and not Dexter Lawrence?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because his hamstring was acting up. I don't know. But Nunez Roches, the Nacho, if you will, him not playing, who's the big run game guy, he was out today with an injury, so that hurt them. But the bigger concern is me is defense. It's because the problem is it's the personnel. There's nothing they can do. They have who they have past the trade deadline. Yeah, they'll get a couple of the inside linebackers back, but the secondary is what it is. And this is going to be a problem. And when you're playing a coverage-based defense, good luck to you. Patricia's going to have to get out of his comfort shell, because when the playoffs start, and we just talked about it, how the NFC now has improved because the Rams are better. Some of the lesser teams we thought didn't have a passing game, they're looking better. So they're going to give the Eagles a problem, Jeff. It's not. I don't worry too much about the offense other than the turnovers. Right. I'd be way more concerned about the defense right now.
Well, as we, just for real quick, we'll end the show on this, because we know Clay lives, he lives in like 30 different places, but he's often in Chicago. He gets to see the Bears play a lot. He grew up there. He does some work also covering the Bears in Chicago. They just played the Cardinals a couple of days ago. They'll be playing the Eagles in next game on Sunday. What stands out about the Cardinals is they can be feisty. And now you look at the final score of their game against the Bears, win 27-16, but I think that was wasn't that a 21-0 game at one point? And then all of a sudden it was 21-7, then 21-10, then 21-30. The Cardinals fight you. I mean, they beat the Steelers, right? They beat the Dallas Cowboys this year. They show up to try to play, like this Giants team. They show up and try to play and fight you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was 21-0, and it looked like it was going to head into a blowout. I mean, if you're playing Madden, that game is over. 21 scuff, that's the rules. You turn the game off. Okay. Right. But they came back and they fought. Yeah, they're lacking talent. Kyler Murray was up and down. Connor, they have a decent running game, but it's a team the Eagles should handle. I don't see a way that the Eagles don't win this game after watching them last week and what the Bears were able to do. I mean, Justin Fields isn't the quarterback that Jalen Hurts is. And I think Fields is faster, but besides that, I think that's where it stops. And I think the Eagles have more weapons on offense. They have a better line. So offensively, in the second half, the Cardinals labored to really stifle the Bears. But I think the Eagles will be able, if we see some of the same schemes in the run game, continuing that power running scheme. That's what the Bears had success with, pulling and pinning, and they had a really good game running the football. One of the best of the year for them. I think if the Eagles take that same approach, this game shouldn't be a problem. And it's always good to see the Eagles beat the Giants, especially at home. The last time the Eagles lost to the Giants at home in Lincoln Financial Field, I was playing.
I knew
that was. Yes.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Was it raining, by the way? Because today is like the first time the Eagles played the Giants and it didn't rain. I was wondering if the rain would just pop up in that game.
I don't think it was raining, and I think that was the old John Fox day. Not John Fox. That was wow. It's slipping me, but yeah, I was in a Birds uniform, Jeff. That's how long it's been.
What was it? Coughlin days?
Coughlin. It was.
Oh
Coughlin.
boy! Wow.
It was Coughlin.
Colonel Coughlin.
Yes. Yes. Coughlin days. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, it's going to be a great week of coverage on Inside the Birds this week. Inside the Birds podcast will be back out on Wednesday. Q&A will be out this week. Quentin Michael, Jason Avant, and of course, Clay Harbor and Greg Cosell will be breaking down all the tape from the game and then previewing the Eagles against the Cardinals on Inside the Tape. That'll be later this week. I want to say thank you to everybody watching. Thanks to all of our great sponsors, HelloFresh, MyBookie, Manscaped, Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, and of course, thanks to our producer. He's fighting through some cold flu-like symptoms. So thank you to Jimmy Hyden for everything he's done today. Masterful job. And thanks for everybody for watching. For Clay Harbor, for Adam Caplan, I'm Geoff Mosher. You've been watching Inside the Birds Post-Game Live.